Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's AMA. This is the Pixels Play to Airdrop AMA. We are so excited about this one. If you are logged into the game right now, we literally just dropped brand new art, brand new Terravilla. Go check it out. It's incredible. Our artists did such a good job. And of course, the Play to Airdrop dashboard is now live. So you can go to play.pixels.xyz/airdrop to find where you are on the leaderboard. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. All right, I think we can get started. Luke, do you want to drop the tea on everything we've just launched today?
Oh man, there is so much. Can we give a shout out to the team first of all? This team is absolutely insane. The amount of work they've gotten done in the past like 8 months compared to other projects is just unbelievable. This team is one of the hardest working teams I've ever seen. Even just getting out this update today, the new art, the airdrop dashboard, all of that was a pretty tremendous effort on their part. And we're not slowing down. We have so much more coming. We wanted to give you guys a taste of the new art, a taste of the new direction, especially as we start to market and grow up to the airdrop that we're doing and a public sale of the token that we're doing. So yeah, today we released two huge new features. We released the airdrop dashboard and we released our new art. So we released a new tutorial area, Barney's Farm, huge makeover, and same thing with new Terravilla. We have a new living area that the artists are working on expanding beyond just this initial area as well. We want to get the first touch of the game as we start to do this stage of growth a lot more polished. So you guys have been here with the project for a long time, everybody in this AMA. You guys have seen the progress. You guys have seen us go from like an engine that was really laggy all the time. You guys have seen us go from like an art style that wasn't super coordinated. Now, as we go into this new stage, we always said we were going to wait until we were ready to grow because we were always worried about retention when it came to growth. Now we have all these great elements of a good first touch where people come into the experience, they see the music, they hear they hear the music, they see the new art. And we think we have a pretty good first experience for blockchain gaming now, where we're pretty proud of it. We're ready to show it to people. And we think that people will be pretty receptive to it. So we always said, I don't know if people believed us, but we always said we weren't trying to grow. Now we're flipping the switch and you guys have seen basically Pixel's new mindset. We're in the growth stage. We're getting ready for launch. We're getting ready for the release of our blockchain-backed beta that's coming out in October. Likely more towards the end of October. And we're turning on the growth metrics now. So we have this airdrop dashboard. We have this new Terravilla, and all the pieces are kind of coming together. So just that announcement alone saying blockchain-backed beta coming in October, that's huge news. But that's what this is all leading up to. So we have a release of the game. It's going to be blockchain-backed. It's going to be play and earn. It's going to have 2 tokens releasing with it at the end of October. It's going to be a beta version of the game. So it's going to be just an initial base, but we're going to have all the systems in place for an awesome play to earn game, play and earn game more so. And we're moving really well towards that goal. So this is your first exposure to see what we've really been up to, see all the new art, the work that we've been doing. And we're holding back some features until the beta, but you get to see some of the stuff that we've been up to. So again, this is the next stage of development for Pixels. We have all the pieces in place to really grow, to really get more exposure to this product. And we're about to start to pull all those levers that, months ago we said we were going to. Now it's that time. So we're super excited. So I guess we can go and start with the play to airdrop dashboard first. And I can go into a bit more detail about what this is actually going to look like, what the play to airdrop dashboard is, and what you can expect over the next month and a half as we're gearing up towards this release. So if you guys have saw the announcement on Twitter, we released this new dashboard. It's called the airdrop dashboard. Essentially what we want to do is we want to gamify our airdrop over the course of the next month and a half to 2 months up to the release of our blockchain-backed beta, which we're calling Chapter 1. So we are gamifying our up to Chapter 1. This is what I think is the most complex airdrop I've seen in the space, and we're super, super excited about it. The team's been putting a ton of work into this. We think it's really unique, and we think it's going to be a huge growth driver up until the launch. So we built this all internally. This was something that we did on our own. Now we're actually about to bring on growth partners too. And it's just such an easy thing to hand to other partners saying, hey, we have this. It's like product driven growth. So that's super exciting. This airdrop dashboard, what you'll be able to see on it is you'll be able to see a points and a ranking and badges on this airdrop dashboard. So essentially what we've done is we've taken all of the progress that you made in the game, and also we've looked at things like land ownership, things like how long you've held land for, if you minted it and still hold it, other metrics like that. We've combined all of this data that we collected into 1 point score, your points. And how we're going to do the airdrop is we're only going to airdrop to 20,000 wallets. 20,000, that's it. Airdrops are quite expensive to coordinate, but also we want to kind of make a game out of it too. So if you look at the leaderboard now, if you've never played the game, if you don't own any land, you're going to be ranked like 25,000 or something like that too. If you just get an initial exposure to the game and you play a tiny bit, you'll end up at like just under ranked 20,000 now. So essentially, people are going to have to compete if you're at the bottom of the rankings to actually get into this airdrop, which is good for us. And it's good for you guys too, because that means that when we give out this airdrop, the people who are going to get the airdrop are who are actually committed to this game, who are committed to this project, and who actually really care about what we're doing, which is a really, really important thing when it comes to a token. One of the most important things about a token is it's not the price, it's not the size. The tokenomics are important, obviously, but the really biggest thing about a token is it needs to be in the hands of people who actually want to use it for its intended purpose, who want to use it for in-game reasons, or who want to support the project in a way like that as well too. So for us, we didn't like a broad airdrop where it's just like, okay, we're going to airdrop to holders of cyberconks for no reason, or we're going to airdrop to players of this other project for no reason. We're just like do like forums or whitelist or things like that. What we want to do is we want to kind of get a metric of like, do you actually like this project? Do you like what we're doing? And are you potentially a good user for this project too? So that's where a lot of this marketing is going to go into. We have a really cool product, we think. We have an awesome blockchain game. I still think we're going to be one of the highest quality blockchain games out there when we release in October. And now it's just kind of a point of telling people about this project. So we want to reward people who are interested in doing this, coming on this journey with us, and we're on to the next stage too. So again, I need to shout out all of our team for getting us to this point. The art's amazing, and we have a product that we feel like now that we can show it to people, we're proud of it, and we can retain users. So a bit more info on this airdrop dashboard. If you notice, I said your points are a combination of playtime, how you've actually been farming, and they're a combination of land ownership and badges. So I'll dig into each of these a bit more. So in terms of playtime, we don't want to get too many details on how we're actually calculating that. But essentially what we want to do is we want to make it so that top farmers and top landowners are relatively around the same rank. So we've adjusted all the metrics that we have for playtime and land ownership to kind of set you to the same ranking if you have done just like been playing the game a ton, or if you held a lot of land and haven't sold it. So I'll dig into the land ownership side of things more too. We've done with the land ownership, we think it's really cool. What we've essentially have done is retroactive staking. So we actually look at the amount of land that you own, and we actually look at all of the land that you've held and how long you've held it. So we're actually even airdropping to people who held land at some point and don't own it anymore if they held for a certain amount of time. We actually look at the amount of days that you held, and we give you a certain amount of points per days that you held the land. And if you also note too, we've added a bonus called Diamond Hands. So for the people who minted the land and never sold it, we've also given you a bonus too. I've been native with Discord. There might be some tweaks and adjustments you want to make to the Diamond Hands bonus, which we can do that pretty easily. For example, some people minted with us, never sold, but they moved their land to a ledger. We'll help respect that. So that might be a use case that we need to support. But essentially, the idea is we want to reward people who have been with us in this ecosystem for a long time. We want to re-engage with people who had seen us before as well too. And then maybe they just need liquidity for another project or something like that. And we want to reward people who have been really loyal to us. So it's a mix of all of that too. So the next category of things that you'll see are badges. And this is where the fun actually is. I'm super, super excited about the badges. If you go to the airdrop dashboard right now, pixels.xyz/airdrop, you'll see a list of the badges. And you actually might have some you've earned already. We have a couple of badges, like I think top farmer is one of them. So if you're a top 50% farmer, you get a badge. If you're a top 10% farmer, you get a badge. If you're a top 200 farmer, you get a badge. That gives you a significant amount of points. I think being a top farmer is almost equivalent to owning like 2 or 3 land, something like that. And that's huge. If you're a top 200 farmer, you probably do deserve that. You put a lot of time and energy into this game. But the idea is we can add a lot of these badges over the course of the next 2 months to give bonuses to our community for things that help us grow, for things that help build up this community, and for different kinds of engagement. So the idea is we have one of the badges that you can earn right now is just completing Barney's quest. It's the tutorial quest. But we want to release a few more quests over the course of the next 2 months and reward you guys for completing those quests. And we can have some fun with it too. We can even do quests where it's like only 2,000 people that complete this quest will get this badge. Or this quest is going to run for 24 hours. You can get this badge that way. There's a lot of fun things that we can do to make this entire experience leading up to the airdrop a lot more engaging than just farming or just holding land. So we're going to have some fun with that too. A couple of the other badges that we've added are around pre-mint. So we're using pre-mint for some of the logistics around our airdrop, but we're not actually using pre-mint for our airdrop. We are going to be doing the airdrop on our own, but pre-mint gives us a bunch of tools that are pretty useful and valuable to us that we're going to be using. So we're actually just using their API mostly. But if you connect to pre-mint, then you get a badge just for that. And if you connect to Discord, if you had the role OG, we take a look at that. We didn't forget about the OGs. The OGs helped build our initial Discord community, and we get to give them a reward now finally. And then another badge that we're doing is the Twitter badge. So if you connect to Twitter, and actually if you see the thread that we just posted, if you retweet this tweet, this will actually unlock a new badge as well too. So there's a lot of gamification that we can do in terms of growth and engagement with these badges as well, where it's like, okay, it's all an aligned incentive, right? The awesome thing about the play to earn space or the Web3 gaming space is this aligned incentive loop where you guys help us grow because you guys are stakeholders here, and you get rewarded for helping us grow as well too. So it's kind of a give and give situation where we can all win if we help grow this project together, if we help engage and move this project forward. And yeah, that's one of the first steps you can do. Retweeting that Twitter thread that we just posted on our Twitter. And yeah, it's a super fun thing. So let's see, are there other badges that we had? I'm connecting my own wallet right now. So yeah, it's as simple as connecting your MetaMask wallet to get to the airdrop dashboard. You should get a ranking. You should get all of that. And yeah, it looks like those are the badges that we have out now. We're also probably going to do some cross-community collabs as well too. So there's a lot of fun growth that we can do in terms of that. For example, like potentially if you own an Axie, we can potentially give like 1,000 badges to Axie Infinity owners if they come and play the game. There's a lot of fun ways that we can play. So if you guys have any ideas on badges that we should be doing, if you guys have any feedback on balance we should do around this, let us hear it. But the idea is, one, we want people who have never seen this game before to kind of like have to earn it to get the airdrop of it. But we also want to get in front of people who've never seen the game before as well too. So it's a balance of both of those. And the idea was to make sure that everybody who has been in this ecosystem before has nothing to worry about, which if you guys look at the points, if you've held land for a long time, or if you've been playing the game for a while, I think Midnight has something like 250,000 points from farming. And I think, funny enough, I think Pranksy is actually one of the top point owners as well too, because he minted a ton of land, hasn't sold it. So he has about like 100 land that are just sitting in the wallet. So he has 100 diamond hands. So really there's all around like a good aligned incentive, good around the reward structure. And we're super excited about this chapter. So we're hoping this will unlock a lot of growth. But beyond that, even in terms of all the updates outside this, we have a couple of awesome partners that we're working with soon to accelerate this even more. It's not just us. It's not just you guys. We're really ready to move on to the next stage. So the whole team's super excited. The whole team's been putting in a lot of work to get here, and we couldn't be more happy. So with that, I think we'll start opening up questions about the airdrop. I hope I answered some of them, but feel free to ask. And I know there were a lot of questions.
Yeah, so we already have a few questions ready to go that I'll read through. But for anyone listening right now and you have a new question, you can either request to speak with us live on stage or here, or you can hop on our Discord general chat and just tag the community team so that we keep of all of the questions that are asked and we can get to all of them and hopefully don't miss any. So let's get started. So question 1. I think also Luke might have covered some of these, but I'm going to read through them anyways. And Luke, you can just kind of whip through them if necessary. So I didn't get a diamond hands because I moved my farm to a hardware wallet so it doesn't get stolen. Can I open a ticket to get it?
Yeah, so what I think we'll do is we'll look at that. If you move the land early, we have all this data that we can detect, by the way, guys. Like we did all of this without any of you giving us any data. If you notice, that's a cool thing about being on the blockchain, right? We get to kind of read all of this. So we have all the transaction data of land. I think one thing that we can do pretty easily is see if there is a transaction just to one other wallet, like within a certain time period of the mint. And I think that's pretty easy to suss out if that was a transfer to a hard ledger or not. So there's stuff that we can do with that automatically. But yes, I think that should be respected. We're totally on board to work and make sure that's something that we add into the Diamond Hands badge.
Okay, so can you define playtime? I read it as literally in game, but I assume it's actually XP.
It's a mix of a few things. We don't want to give away the secret sauce, obviously. There needs to be some element of hiddenness. We don't want people to bot this. We don't want people to kind of game the system. But essentially, it is related to farming and the farming actions that you've done. There's a few metrics that we're probably going to be adding and mixing into the spice a bit as we go too. The cool thing is we kind of get to adjust and balance this as we need to as well. But yeah, it is related to the actual actions that you're taking in the game. Yeah, I guess if somebody's asking if they just sit and do nothing in the game, no, we're not looking at that metric actually.
All right, good to know. Okay, so the Pixel token, explain what it is, and that it will be a public sale plus liquidity seems to imply that it is not part of the airdrop. What is the distribution process for the 2 coins?
Oh no, there will be. So yeah, there will still be a airdrop of the Pixel token as well too. So we're doing 2 tokens. If you guys haven't been following around our tokenomics, we're doing a soft currency and a hard currency. This is intended to be like quite inflationary. We're going to do our best to balance it, but it'll be primarily produced through in-game mechanics, through things like farming and selling to the store. And that token is going to be called Berry. Our second currency is going to be called Pixel. And that currency will be a hard currency. If you guys have ever played a game like Clash of Clans, they do a really, really good job of the soft currency versus hard currency model, where they have coins that you can earn through most of the game mechanics, but they also have gems that you can earn to speed, or you don't earn them. You typically buy them, or you get them in like a very hard to get way. But those 2 things, like speed up build time, they get you cosmetics, they get you things that don't break the core game loop. You can play Clash of Clans without ever buying gems or ever getting gems, but gems kind of help make the game move a bit faster. So we're viewing our Pixel token as hard currency in a very, very similar way, where that's kind of how we want the Pixel token to work, where you can do everything that you need to do in Pixels without the Pixel token. We don't want it to affect the core game loops. If you financialize the core game loops, it really, really affects gameplay. It actually can affect the token as well too. We've seen this with Axie Infinity and a bunch of other early play to earn games, where if the core token that you're using is also like very financialized, it leads to a really bad experience, especially if the token price fluctuates. You don't have people playing a game for the right reasons, essentially, either. So what we can do with this Pixel token is we can actually introduce it into the economy, not through direct gameplay, but through gameplay that incentivizes good behavior. So one thing that we've been talking about in terms of introducing the Pixel token into the economy is something like rewarding farm landowners for people coming onto their farms. So the more daily active users you have on your particular farm, the more Pixel token that you get. If you look at the white paper, how we're distributing this token is we are doing it off chain. So we decide how we distribute it off chain, but we approve it on chain. So we get to kind of play around with how we distribute this token. But the idea is we want to reward good game behavior. And then the second idea with this token, this Pixel token in particular, is that we want to cap the amount of token coming in each day. So the increasing supply of the token is not dependent on users. It's very predictable, and it's very easy for us to control that way. We actually want to do a hard number cap on the amount of currency coming in each day, which actually would long-term even maybe make it deflationary. But that being said, we're still going forward with the public sale. We'll have to do like a tiny private sale as well too. The airdrop will still be done, but the token is the currency that we're most excited about. And this airdrop will be made of 2 tokens actually. You'll get airdrop Berry and Pixel, a combination. So we're super excited about that. Expect both of them to be airdropped to you.
Okay, and Blue's Clue, you've requested to come up, so I'll let you up here. 1 second. Hey. Oh, we can't hear you again. Oh man. I don't know what the issue is always with his Wi-Fi or whatever it is. Okay. Let's move on to the questions we have in here then. So is there a leaderboard?
We have the rankings, right? We don't have a leaderboard out, but we could get that out if people are interested in that. That might be some fun transparency potentially. We have the leaderboard in our own databases, obviously, because we need to get the rankings. If that's a requested feature, potentially we can do that. The team is more focused on just getting out this dashboard, getting the ranking system out there. But that would be kind of fun, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we also like you guys sharing it in Discord, though. That's fun, too. Seeing, I think Midnight was number 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
It looked like, yeah, funny enough, Pranksy was pretty high up there, like we said.
Yeah. Makes
0
sense,
farming
though.
points from Pranksy, though.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Next question though. There is a cool bar, but no actual numbers are shown on how points are calculated. Is there somewhere we can see that?
Yeah, that bar is percents. So you can see that the breakdown. I guess you could kind of do the math if you wanted to.
But we are keeping a secret how we exactly calculate things. So, okay. Could we get clarification on what will happen to our inventory items and coins during the token launch or chapter one?
Yeah, so the chapter one launch, you have to kind of think about it as almost a separate game because it's gonna be drastically different. So the items you have in the game right now won't directly translate anyways. So expect to get an airdrop. If you put the time and the work and the energy into the game already, you'll probably get a sufficient amount of airdrop to play the game just like you were before. But just note that it's going to be a different game. There's going to be like a lot of different use cases for the stuff that you have, so it doesn't quite make sense to transfer everything over directly. The airdrop is the way that we're respecting that mostly.
Okay. I just said if anyone has more questions, please tag the community team on our general chat just so we can keep track. Next one here. Will there be XP given for each crop/resource somebody else harvests on your land?
There's this new mechanic called industries that we're coming out with, and essentially there will be separate skills for the player and for the map. So you can actually, or the farm, so you can actually level up farm, and the people who come onto your land will actually be leveling up your land for you if you don't use it yourself. So your land will have its own leveling system, and each one will be separate as well too. That's separate from your personal farming skills. So the land will have different industries that you can place on it, like wood cutting or like a forest industry, or the apiary industry is one that we talk about a lot, the beekeeping one. I just think it's like the funniest one. But yeah, you'll be able to level up beekeeping, forestry, things like that specifically on your land. And whoever comes onto your land will be able to do that with you.
Okay, cool. And question is, I think it's more a suggestion about having a Christmas tree and golden rake badge.
Oh, yeah. So when we switch over, that is a good idea. We definitely do that. So when we switch over to the new version, those types of items are not going to be lost. Don't worry about that. You will always have your golden rake. You will always have your Christmas tree. And that's the other cool thing about badges too. So some of these badges, they'll unlock points towards the airdrops, but will also likely send certain items for badges too. So there can be both of those things. Where, for example, if you have like the top farmer badge, or no, I think it's called the chosen ones. We're probably going to airdrop something for the chosen ones, but it's going to be an item as well. So there's fun stuff we can do with the badges in terms of that as well.
Okay, and it looks like there's a password on pre-min still. Some people are talking about it. Let's just make sure we get that removed. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did I just not save it?
Yeah, so lots of good questions are happening in the general chat. They're very focused on like how to connect and all of that. And that is exactly what the community team here is for. So please just tag us if you have any of those kinds of questions. If you have anything for the AMA, we got a couple more minutes here. We'd love to. But it seems like so far everyone's really focused on like new Terra Villa and getting their dashboard set up. So we actually don't have AMA questions.
So yeah, the idea was, I was really hoping this would happen, that the dashboard would be very self-explanatory. I spent so long trying to figure out layout and copy and design to make sure it just explains itself. So I'm glad it's kind of doing that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good news. Okay. Yeah, so we'll get that password taken care of course. But with that, it seems like we can wrap it here. Thank you all for your questions. Of course, if you have more, tag a community team member in the general chat. Anything significant, of course, please open a ticket. We're all ears. We're here to help. We could not be more excited about this launch. I can't explain to you how excited I am to see all of you see the new artwork. It's such an upgrade. Our artists, Ivan and Sergey, have absolutely killed it. So huge shout out to them. And yeah, thank you all for being here with us. We couldn't do it without you. And with that, I guess we can wrap it up here.
Yeah, and don't forget to retweet that tweet about the airdrop dashboard, because again, that will give you a badge for the airdrop, and that'll give you a significant amount of points. So make sure you retweet that.
Amazing. All right. Bye, guys.